910radio.com.
Another Halloween just passed. As we give thanks heading into Thanksgiving and count our blessings coming to the end of 2025. But when I look at the San Francisco 49ers this year and how things have gone since they left San Francisco, you might as well think that they've been cursed. Since demolishing Candlestick Park in 2015, gentrification in the Bay has continued. The soul of the Bay has been evaporating slowly. If you disconnect the roots of greatness, don't be surprised that the greatness doesn't continue. Levi Stadium was built near the Ulystak Preserve in a lonely Indian burial site less than a mile away. The original Bay Area natives, a forgotten people that were forced into genocide, conquered by the colonizers, and slowly died off from forced labor and disease. So Levi sits on stolen land in today's modern Silicon Valley, the tech capital of the world, where the rich get richer and inflation dries out the poor. I believe karma is real. With all the recent Super Bowl losses and constantly being the most injury-riddled team in the league, you got to ask yourself, are the 49ers cursed? Yo, what's good with it, man? It's your boy, Renz, Julian. We back again. You know what I'm saying? Episode 36. You know, this time we looking at the 49ers, man. We a little past mid-season. And the thing about it is, like I said in the intro, something ain't right, man. The injuries keep piling up. Just like I said in the beginning of the season, something that they got going on over there ain't right. We could just start looking at the past, you know, ever since pretty much Shanahan and Lynch been there, you know what I mean? Like, right before that, you know, you could take a look at from 2019 to the present. You know what I'm saying? 2019 was the Super Bowl year. You know, it was just, that was probably the best defense we had, but I'm just trying to talk to you about, you know, unfortunate situations as the injuries. We constantly leading the league in injuries. You know, look at Bosa, he's out, gone for the year. You know, this is the second time that this has happened under this staff. Ayuk, you know what I'm saying? Injury. That was last year. I don't know. It shouldn't take more than a year to heal. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he got going on, and that I don't know. You know, he's supposed to have his practice window opening in the last few weeks. It didn't happen. You know, CMC, you know, he missed a lot of time last year. He's back at it this year. He's amongst the league leaders in all-purpose yards. You can't complain. But the way they use him, you know, you just, I look at it like, damn, man, they keep overusing him. He finna get hurt again. And that's, I don't know if it's just Shanahan's coaching style, you know, just stick with what's working, run people into the ground. But, you know, that's going to take its toll later. And you know, you just see, you know, from when Debo was here to when Garoppolo was out for the year, which opened the door for Purdy or whatever. But, you know, Purdy, now he's a guy that's been in and out the lineup, and he may be back this week from what I'm hearing. But something ain't right. I feel like there ain't nothing to play for right now because they're just teasing the fans. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even go all in with a trade to try to make that push down the stretch to see. You look at the standings. I mean, the West is tough. The West is real tough. And again, I don't think they did enough this offseason to compete. They didn't do enough at the trade deadline. So it's like, what are we doing? Is this a rebuild year? Or is this, we just want to be competitive. We're not really trying to go all the way. And that's why I kind of stay away. I can't be consistent with podcasts because I don't feel inspired to talk about, you know, stuff that makes me disappointed. It's not really, you know, I got other things. Mentally, I'd rather be on a positive mood, you know. But again, that's the main thing, you know. Michael Williams goes down. Come on, man. It's like, you know, Fred Warner. I forgot to mention him, captain of the defense. So, I mean, you can't expect them to be a top-tier team right now with the people they're rolling out on the field. You know, they're missing the cornerstones of the defense. They're missing the starting quarterback and the starting wide receiver. Pearsall and Ayuk starters. Pearsall may be coming back. Okay, whatever. But what are we really trying to do? Is this a team that is this just a rebuild year? Are we building towards next year? Well, who's to say next year the same thing don't happen, man? So I don't know. Like, what is it that the Niners are doing differently than other teams around the NFL? Like, you look at the top teams, their cores are usually intact. The Rams, the team we just lost to, they got the starting quarterback, their starting receiver. The defense looks solid. They're not complaining about injuries. They just, they look like they were in midseason form offensively, and we're going backwards. We're going the opposite way. So to me, it's like something that we don't know as fans and people that ain't a part of the organization. We're not on the inside, so all you could do is speculate. And that's why I start to look at the stadium, Levi Stadium. Where was it built, or what was it built near? And, that's what I did some research on and found out, it was built right near the Ohlone Indian burial ground. It's like a mile away. And, I'm not the most superstitious person. You know what I mean? I believe in God. You could call me religious. We don't go to church every Sunday. We should. But I think it's an afterlife. I believe there's stuff, the supernatural world we don't know about. So, you hear things. I mean, spirits, whatever it is, bad luck, black cats, all that stuff. Hey, we got to put the finger on and point it somewhere, and maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. When they were in San Francisco, Candlestick Park, it was beautiful. It was good karma. It was like everything that could go right went right. They had 5 Super Bowl wins. They had one Hall of Fame quarterback after the other. Steve Young coming right after Joe Montana. You know what I'm saying? Everything was poetry in motion. This isn't a topic that you would even address around that time. We was dominant, So I'm just speaking as a fan. And I do this podcast to kind of, just give my perspective on things in sports and entertainment from the Bay Area, from where I'm from, and kind of connect with the fans. Hopefully I get new fans to like my music, and that's the main thing that I'm in. That's what I do. I'm an artist, but I love sports. I love the Niners, and I'm disappointed overall because they lost 3 straight Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? And now they the most injured team in the league, and it seems like our window is closing because the core pieces that we have are, they getting over the hill. They getting to that point where they're on the downside. Kittle, McCaffrey, they ain't going to be in prime condition forever. So with this current team, man, this window might be closed. And it's sad because it takes a long time to get back to that Super Bowl. You may have a new coach and a new quarterback, and could take them 5 years to get the system down and get on the same page and have the right pieces and have the right staff and have all the perfect combination of everything go right. That's how it has to be for you to be a great team. And the sad thing is, I just think like this year, this ain't the year, and there's really nothing to play for. That's why when they lost the Super Bowl at the beginning of this year and last year, I said the same thing. Wake me up when they're in the fourth quarter. They up by 2 touchdowns, and they got the ball getting ready to do victory formation. Otherwise, I don't really care. I'm bored. Like, we've been seeing the same thing over and over again. So that's it, man. I want to talk about the culture, the old school culture. Ain't really a new generation versus old school. I believe I'm right in between that, at my age and where I'm at and the way I think. But I believe that this new generation, man, is soft, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, man, do you think, I'll just say this, man. Ronnie Lott, he played with an amputated finger. They cut his finger off and he went right back in the game. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing going to keep him out the game. best safety of all time. You know, Jerry Rice comes back from a torn ACL in the same season. I know the true diehards remember that. Like, he got hurt early in the year. I think it was against Tampa Bay on a reverse. Got his ACL torn. I don't know what magical rehab he did. You know, you got the trainer, the best trainers money can buy. You know, the best dietitians, best coaches, strength and conditioning coaches, everything. And he utilized that, and he came back on Monday night. It was at the end of the year. It's, you know what I'm saying? That's Jerry Rice. That's the mentality that we used to have. I can even look at the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys, but Emmitt Smith played with a dislocated shoulder in the playoffs against the Giants. He couldn't even raise his arm. And the reason why I really remember that, because in youth football, I did the same thing. You know, they popped my stuff right out. And they had to walk me off the field, and I had to wear a sling. So I know how bad that hurts. They probably shot his shoulder up, made it numb so where he couldn't feel anything, but he finished the game. And that Cowboys team went on, you know, in the early 90s, went on to win 3 Super Bowls with that type of leadership, you know, that type of mentality, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, we got people, you know, just taking load management, you know, and especially in basketball, you know, talking about practice windows and when they've been practicing all summer, but you waiting until middle of the year. Like these boots, they be milking the contracts. They're just getting the check. They don't love the game like that. And it's like certain people that got the same talent that didn't get the opportunity, and you see people treating it like that. It's like, man, if only you knew how it is out here in the real world, you know, where your 4.3 speed and your, you know, 500-pound bench, whatever it is that made you great, that stood out, your 6'6" height, and 600-pound deadlift, all that don't mean nothing out in the real world. All the pieces and of the puzzle added up perfectly for you to make it to the league and continue, you know, to make $1 million. You know what I'm saying? When other people got the same ability, the cards just didn't fall in the right place for them. And, you know, you got that opportunity and you sitting up there taking it for granted. That's what I'm trying to say. And I see that in this generation, it's a lot of, they ain't got no heart. That's just what it is. That's just what it is, man. Not everybody, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't have the same heart and dedication, and they take it for granted. So I see that could be the issue with this, not only the 49ers team, but, you know, just in general in sports. You know, I see it in the NBA especially. But anyway, you know, I'm just going down a list on why we are where we are. We can go back to the gentrification and the move to Santa Clara and the type of culture that's down there. You know, it's tech transplants. You know, they priced out all the originals that were down there. It's been going on all over the Bay, from Oakland to San Francisco, in the South Bay. So you don't have that grimy, gully, average Joe fan that could afford to even go to those games. And I don't know if that just reflects in the bouginess of the team. If that's where we are now, it's just they don't get down grimy like old school teams where, you know, I don't know, like Oakland Raiders fans kind of match the spirit of the team and the aura of that area, you know. I'm not going to say the Candlestick, you know, that was kind of bougie too, you know, to an extent, but it still was more of a grit to it. And it was an old school mentality that the players are coming from. They're not from there. They're from all over. Most NFL players is from, you know, they had a hard upbringing, and you had to focus on, you know, one thing, and you had to have tremendous dedication and discipline just to be able to wake up and go run sprints, wake up and go lift weights, go run routes by yourself when nobody will help you. Got no quarterback to throw the ball to you. Go run hills. That's the type of mentality that was in the 80s and 90s. And now I notice me being back in the sports world the last 5 years with East Bay Kings. I just noticed this is a different mentality. A lot of people taking shortcuts. A lot of people won't play injured or won't rehab the injury. Some of them don't even lift weights. Come on, man. Like, I'm able to do a lot of things that I was able to do still like I did back in my 20s because I still lift weights. I still run. You know what I mean? I still heavily work on my legs. You know what I'm talking about? Olympic lifts, deadlifts, leg press, all that, Just that type of mentality is slowly dripping out of society, man. It's so easy to do everything with technology. A lot of people are spoiled, AAU, getting NIL, stuff like that. Damn, I wish I had that. Man. Y'all lucky, man. So what I'm saying is, man, I don't know if we're gonna ever get that same 49er way back unless they reconnect with some of them legends of the past, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Jerry Rice and Montana and Young got to be involved with the organization. Who knows? I hear that it's a rift, between some of them and the organization. So it's totally disconnected from that era. And they could be getting haunted by the Ohlone Indians, man. So, hey, man, I hope not. I hope they go ahead and get it together for the rest of the season. And let's go on a run. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But yeah, man, what's your take on all that?
The karma that's kind of coming around that is starting to come to fruition. The issues with the Niners training staff, maybe the grounds they play on, what is the condition of the practice fields, or what kind of nutrition plan do they have these guys on? Why is there such an epidemic with the injuries in the past 3 to 4 years? I mean, maybe since that first Super Bowl with Garoppolo, they were dealing with a key injury then. I mean, think about the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And was it Bowman? No.
D4.
Greenlaw. Greenlaw goes down with the Achilles. Remember that? He's warm enough to go out on the field. The Niners are balling, too. They look like they're about to beat the Chiefs.
Oh.
And Greenlaw comes off the sideline ready to run out to play defense. And boom, right off the sideline. Nobody, not even in the play.
Yeah.
And boom, Achilles injury. Bosa, ACL. Bosa's been out maybe 2 of the last 3 years, and they recently paid him. A lot of the issue goes where they're paying guys, and they end up getting hurt. Look at Purdy. I mean, I was a strong advocate of not paying Purdy because what that's going to do at his position is going to make all of the funds that can be allocated elsewhere on a football team, they're going to be lacking in being able to at least provide depth, if not solid players at other key positions. So you have a Fred Warner go down. You have a Bosa go down. There's nobody in place of those guys that you're paying all that money to, which good franchises are going to do. They're going to draft in that position. So in case of the injury, they're literally trailing an all-pro. They're going to learn something from those cats, you would hope. So just for example, right now, just this week alone, this doesn't even include some of the guys that have been out all year, like Ayuk, and for the most part, Bosa, right? But you got Alfred Collins, Mac Jones. He's been on the injury report all year. McCaffrey, same thing. Pearsall. Pearsall's been hurt, the last 3-4 weeks? Brock Purdy. Trent Williams is on the injury report this week.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes. Well, I just heard that Purdy about to start this week. I don't know if you saw that.
Well, yeah, they're probably going to have to, because Mac Jones, he's a little compromised, but also, the money is telling these guys, look, it's the midway point of the season. We have to get a win, and we have to get return on investment, because they're paying Purdy in upwards of $40 million this year, or around that. So for him to not really have contributed to any wins like that, except maybe Seattle in week 1, that's probably an issue that they're going to be chasing that as a franchise. And on top of that, I wanted to just read something to you and to let you comment on it. What your thoughts on it are. Levi Stadium, home of the 49ers, is built on a foundation designed to withstand seismic activity. A crucial feature given to the location in California, the stadium uses a deep foundation system with reinforced concrete piles driven into the bedrock. This ensures stability and reduces the risk of structural failure during earthquakes. Additionally, the foundation incorporates a drainage system to maintain and manage rainwater and prevent flooding, making it efficient and durable. The designs also emphasize sustainability and includes materials that minimize environmental impact. Where in there, you've played football at a high level. Where in there does that secure the safety of the player in terms of the grounding?
So you saying, from reading that right there, you think they did something to the field to make it like it's a different type of field, that where it could actually not be like a standard type of field because they're worried about earthquakes? Is that what you getting at?
I mean, I don't
even know where you found that, but I mean, shit, that could be something. I don't know. Maybe you found something.
Because if the stability under is so firm, that turf isn't giving.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Hey, I never looked that deep into it as far as like the type of field or grass. That is grass, ain't it? It's not turf.
It's I guess it's like artificial grass, if you will. It's kind of a combination. It's like field turf,
Yeah.
Most of these buildings now have field turf. Either they roll it in because they have multiple things going on in the venue, or it just stays there like Lambeau because there's nothing else going on there.
I mean, that I can't really comment on. I haven't been on that field, so, and I don't. I'll look after this to see. I thought it was grass, to be honest with you. I mean, but I don't know. It's 2025. They might have done something. The problem is, whatever it is, it's not, something ain't working over there. It ain't. We on the outside looking in. We don't know. But I know that there's several things to point at, to look at, and I just wanted to get your take on it, though. But I just think they have a chance to go back to San Francisco where it all started. Maybe they redevelop that a spot over there, or share the building with the Giants. I don't see what the problem is with that. I just think for superstition reasons, I don't know. That's where the glory years was. It all culminated. You know what I'm saying? In the city, good karma, good chemistry, whatever it was, it just worked. And what they've been doing, not that it's been a total failure, but it's just it's not working out. It's not working the way it was. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It would bring a lot of jobs back to the city. And I'm from the East Bay, but I'm looking at the Bay as a whole. It's been totally gentrified. and they're pushing our people out of the Bay Area, man. It's totally like I said, they sucking the soul out of the Bay. With gentrification, that's a different subject, but I think we're missing something when you do that. You're taking the culture away, and a lot of things that affects everything.
When you think about it, you just hit on a point that makes a lot of sense when you think about it like this. They moved to Levi Stadium, which is what, in the heart of the Silicon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people that live in that area are more equipped to afford season tickets, afford a ticket price that's marked up at a higher cost.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason now, if you really think about it, yes, the Niners still had success because they have a good head coach and a really good GM. But the home field advantage is not the same as it was at Candlestick/3Com Park. It's just not. Now, granted, you had people like Steve Young, Montana, Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia did some winning in that stadium.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of that was I've been to a couple games there. I think we went to a game. We did. No, we went to the Levi one. We went to the
Levi, yeah, right when it opened up. Yeah.
But I've been to the old one too, and I just felt like going to both spots. They're way more authentic, diehard Niner fans that were in Frisco,
yeah,
than there are in Santa Clara.
All them people, a lot of them ain't even from here. They're not from. A lot of them, I'll be real, not even from this country, man. Like they've been brought over here because they know the tech game and they created the software. You know what I'm saying? They come from other countries, so they, it's a whole different demographic. So that's like not, I know that. I mean, there ain't no discriminating against anyone. I'm cool with everybody, and can get along with all different races. But just the foundation of the Bay Area, what it was in the 80s and 90s, slowly going away, almost gone. And that affects all aspects of everything. On how we look at things, and just the aura, the chemistry of the environment ain't what it was, and it became something else. And that's why things ain't happening like they used to. And we can't just be nostalgic and be yearning for the old days because it's a new day. But I'm just calling it like I see it. And, it's times done change. How do we get back, at least from a football standpoint, for the 49ers? What changed there that we can kind of like go back to square one for a little bit, and let's see what we can do to reconnect to that greatness, man. I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Well, they had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 draft picks in the past 2025 draft. That's pretty decent work. But I think part of that is because they're trying to find replacements now for a lot of mainstays that have produced in the Niner uniform the last, I guess you can call it championship run years because they've been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 5-6 years. When you look at when they fall short, you can really look no further than the injury situation.
Yeah. And that's the whole foundation of this whole topic anyway. So, but again, man, we don't, football is a tough game. It can happen at any time. Like you said, Greenlaw was just jumping around, like getting ready to run onto the field and pop, You saw what happened, you know what I'm saying? So that could happen. That worries me every day. I mean, just you never know when your number. You never know when it's your time to go, risk to be injured, to be hit by lightning or whatever. I mean, you just can't prepare for everything. But that's why I think there's something else in the air down there in Silicon Valley that just it's just maybe it's just our turn to have a string of bad luck or things go in cycles and in seasons and whatever. So it could be just we had a good run for so long that now it's time to deal with the adversity and the luck of the draw, bad luck, So
well, when you say that a lonely Indian burial site,
that's real, man.
That right there is a emphasis point that I don't think a lot of people know about.
I had to do the research. I had to see, man, the Ohlone Indians were like the original people in the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? And then first it was the Spanish colonizers came, with the missions and they wanted to pretty much eliminate their way of life and indoctrinate them into Christianity. And then the United States, the European colonizers came and did the same thing and just kind of reinforced that. So they pretty much enslaved them. And if they didn't want to adopt, I think, Christianity, I believe, and just the new way of life, then they would just be exterminated. So you got to read, man. You got to look it up. Chat GPT and Google, all that. Even some of that could be skeptical, but I believe it. I believe the fact that the Indians were here first. How did they just get eliminated? And there's no repercussions for it. You know what I'm saying? So those spirits that are buried in the cemetery over there in that preserve, I wouldn't put it past them to try to haunt and not be happy about how they were, treated. It's a wild subject, man. I'm not an expert in that at all, but it's
if you believe in superstition, then it makes a lot of sense. And then on top of that, when you look at the series of snake-bitten years due to injury, there is something to that. So when you start finding reasons why, you've been a deep-hearted 49er fan for X amount of years, and a lot of the people that probably listen to this, hopefully are.
Yeah.
Back to the Dwight Clark, Roger Craig days. There has been a lineage of 49ers that have been around and have been able to produce consistently. And it's just like, how is it all of a sudden in the last 6 or 7 years that the 49ers, they can't get over the hump? And they've been really close a couple years there.
Yeah.
And now, you never know. I mean, if they're 100%, I mean, no team really is, but if they didn't lose super key guys like they did, they'd still be in the mix.
Yeah.
They're not out of it.
Like, what are you playing for? Why am I even watching it? Once you come to these conclusions, and then I just start tuning it out. I gotta focus on my own life, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just one thing that brings you away from the stress of life is sports. Because we could get on here and talk about a whole lot of other subjects and probably piss a lot of people off and cause controversies. And I mean, eventually we may have to start getting into other topics, but sports is something that gets you away from that, man. It make you feel good and make you give you that youthful feeling that you always had. That's an escape from the drama of your day-to-day life. Somebody to root for and something to escape on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Or even during the week when the Warriors come on. Thursday night or whatever, just to get away from your everyday life for like 2 hours, man. But yeah, man, that's all good. We're gonna wrap this one up. Appreciate you tapping in again, and yeah, for sure, man. Good insight, man. We'll get back at it. Episode 36, East Bay Kings podcast. We'll holler at y'all next time.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in for this episode. Make sure y'all go ahead and watch my new movie, From a Peasant to a King, the story of the East Bay Kings. You can even watch it right here on YouTube, on the channel. Go ahead and search in the videos. It's right up. It's all up in there. Or if you got the streaming apps, go ahead and look. Go ahead and look on your favorite streaming apps. See if you can find it. I know it's on Relay. That's a new app. So we slowly starting to get it out to more apps. But I appreciate y'all support. Support upcoming Black creators, entrepreneurs, filmmakers, artists. I'm all of that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, keep tuning in to this podcast. We're on episode 36. We'll be back again soon. I'll let y'all next time.